The canvas of human potential is painted not by circumstance, but by the brushstrokes of thought. This profound truth echoes through the annals of history, validated by visionaries like Elon Musk, who dared to dream beyond Earth, Steve Jobs, who redefined our connection to technology, and Jeff Bezos, who built an empire from an idea. As Napoleon Hill so eloquently captured in his timeless masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich, what you think about, you become. But if this axiom holds true, why do countless individuals find themselves trapped in a perpetual struggle for success? Do their minds not dwell on a brighter tomorrow? Do their eyes remain blind to the latent power within? Today, we embark on a journey that promises to illuminate these shadows, offering not just profound insights, but also a fresh perspective to enrich your understanding. So stay with us until the very end. This narrative is a voyage worth every moment. In the swirling symphony of a bustling railway station, a figure faded into the background, a man known only as the beggar. Each dawn he would emerge from the gray anonymity of the city, extending a weary hand to the endless stream of travelers, his voice a quiet murmur lost amidst the clamor of arriving and departing trains. His existence was a fragile thread woven from the coins dropped reluctantly into his palm. One ordinary afternoon, as the station hummed with its usual frenetic energy, his gaze snagged on a man who seemed to glide across the platform. Immaculately dressed in a sharp suit, with a bearing that exuded quiet authority and undeniable wealth, the businessman was a stark contrast to the world the beggar inhabited. A spark of hope ignited within him. Surely, the beggar thought, a man of such means will be generous. A substantial alms would make my week. Emboldened by this fleeting thought, he shuffled forward, his hand instinctively reaching out. But instead of the expected jingle of coins, the businessman paused. His eyes, calm and perceptive, met the beggar's. "Do you perpetually receive from others?" he asked, his voice even, yet carrying an unexpected weight. "Have you ever, in turn, offered anything to anyone?" The beggar recoiled, as if struck. The question was a foreign entity, alien to his world. Confusion clouded his features. "Sir, I'm but a beggar. My very survival depends on asking for alms. I possess nothing. What could I possibly give?" A faint, almost imperceptible smile touched the businessman's lips. "If you genuinely believe you have nothing to offer, then you also relinquish the right to ask for anything. I operate on a different principle. I am a businessman. My world thrives on exchange. Present me with something of value, and I in turn shall offer you something of mine. But if your hands are empty, I too must keep mine closed." With those words he turned, a decisive stride carrying him towards the open doors of a waiting train. And then he was gone. The beggar stood frozen. The man's words echoed in the vast hollow chamber of his mind. He had spent countless years on this very spot, stretching out his hand, yet no one had ever challenged his reality so directly. The words weren't cruel, but they were uncomfortably, undeniably true. If he offered nothing, why should anyone give? For the first time, a sliver of understanding pierced through his ingrained perception. Perhaps, just perhaps, this was the invisible barrier between him and generosity. The absence of anything to give in return. That night, sleep remained an elusive phantom. He tossed and turned on his hard bed, his mind a whirlwind of torment. But what can I give? I am a beggar. I possess nothing. Yet the businessman's pronouncement resonated with unwavering clarity. If you desire to receive, you must first give. 2 days passed in a blur of intense introspection. He didn't beg. He couldn't. His mind was consumed by this new, unsettling truth. On the third day, as he sat by the tracks, observing the world rush by, a splash of vibrant color caught his eye. A cluster of wildflowers, hardy and defiant, bloomed near the grimy sleepers, their petals an unexpected riot of purples, yellows, and reds. A jolt, a sudden, almost electric thought coursed through him. What if? What if I offered something in return? What if for every coin, I gave a flower? A tremor of determination ran through him. He arose, his movements deliberate, and made his way to the patch of wildflowers. Gently, almost reverently, he plucked a small handful, their delicate stems cool against his fingers. He returned to his usual spot, a newfound purpose in his posture. The next time a passenger extended a coin, he smiled, a genuine, unpracticed smile, and offered a blooming flower in return. To his astonishment, many accepted, their faces lighting up with surprise and a flicker of delight. Some even offered a genuine thank you. As the days melted into weeks, an extraordinary pattern emerged. More and more people seemed to seek him out, their donations more generous than before. But he noticed a critical correlation. The surge in generosity was directly tied to his supply of flowers. When his small bouquet dwindled, so did the offerings. It's true, he realized, a profound revelation. People truly appreciate receiving something in return. One crisp morning, as he was engaged in his new ritual, exchanging blossoms for coins, his heart leapt. There, stepping onto a train, was the businessman. A surge of exhilarating courage propelled him forward. He rushed towards the window, his voice uncharacteristically bold. "Sir, today I have something to give you. If you offer me money, I shall offer you these flowers in return." The businessman's eyes crinkled with a knowing smile. He reached into his pocket, produced a few bills, and graciously accepted the offered flowers. "You have truly grasped the essence of exchange," he said, his voice imbued with quiet pride. "Today, you are no longer merely a beggar. You have become a businessman." The train's whistle shrieked, and with a final nod, the businessman stepped off at the next station, disappearing into the crowd. The beggar stood there watching him go, the businessman's words resonating deeply. Am I truly a businessman now? He pondered this question for a long, quiet stretch of time. Then, a sudden dazzling clarity washed over him. "I know the secret of success," he whispered to the empty air. "I am not a beggar. I am a trader. People aren't giving me money out of pity. They are purchasing these flowers. This is a business." Empowered by this monumental realization, he made a decision that day. He turned his back on the railway station, never to return as a beggar again. 6 months later, at that very same bustling station, two impeccably dressed men met. Their hands clasped in a firm handshake, but one man's brow furrowed in a curious attempt to place the other. "Do I know you?" he inquired. The second man smiled, a familiar warmth in his eyes. "Indeed, we've met twice before, right here on this very platform." The first man's eyes widened in dawning recognition. "Wait, you're the beggar, the one I refused to give money to, and then later, the man from whom I bought flowers." The former beggar chuckled, a rich, confident sound. "That was me, yes, but today I am no longer that beggar. I own a thriving flower business, and I'm here now to expand it further." The businessman was genuinely astonished. "That's incredible! What transformed you?" The flower seller's smile broadened. "You, sir, taught me one of life's most fundamental truths. We truly receive only when we are willing to give. That pivotal day, I understood that I was never just a beggar. I had been a businessman all along. I simply needed to see myself as one." The two men shook hands once more, this time as equals, respected colleagues. Then they boarded their respective trains, each heading towards futures shaped by their newfound understanding. Life, you see, is irrevocably shaped by the lens through which we view ourselves. If you perceive yourself as insignificant, your reality will often reflect that limitation. But if you awaken to the boundless potential residing within you, if you recognize your inherent strength and capacity, then greatness becomes not a distant dream, but an achievable destiny. So cast aside the self-imposed shackles, see yourself as mighty, as capable, as inherently fortunate. Wake up every morning to recognize the truth of your true self, and you will awaken to a new dawn of success. Persistence is not simply refusing to give up, it is recognizing that the forces of the universe are working in your favor, always waiting for you to recognize your true value. After all, who owes something to themselves? They can never be thwarted.